endure something painful, unpleasant, or otherwise dissatisfactory, to deal with or recover from some hardship or stress, suck it up, endure something painful.
What's up? Welcome to another episode of the Suck It Up Man podcast. I'm really excited about today. We have an amazing guest coming on here in a bit. But before we get into that, I want to tell a little story that happened yesterday. And it's a fantasy football story. I never really thought I'd be talking about fantasy football here on the podcast, but it definitely relates. And, it probably shows how you're a bad influence on me, I think. So we'll see. We'll see what you think. But
I don't know if I'm a bad influence on you. Sometimes you could be a bad influence on me. But go on.
Yeah, you take the good with the bad. But so fantasy football, for those of you who don't know, is where every player is going to draft players. This is NFL, of course, and we're going to draft players, and based on their stats, touchdowns, passing yards, whatever, you get a certain amount of points. So this is Monday night, a couple hours before the Monday night game starts. I have the starting quarterback of the Cardinals in my starting lineup, and there's an announcement that he is going to be out, right? So I'm trailing by about 15 points to the player I'm playing against. So I look to add the backup quarterback, but see that somebody had added him a couple hours before that. And
that was kind of announced that he was out.
Yeah. So I guess somebody looked at my lineup and saw that my quarterback was listed as questionable, and they decided to pick up the backup just in case the starting quarterback was listed out, which is exactly what happened. So I was a little pissed about it, but whatever. I kind of know with fantasy football that I don't check it as often as I probably should, which maybe that means I shouldn't even do fantasy football in the first place, but whatever. I didn't really care too much. Then the next morning, my schedule's really screwed up from Asia. So I was up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I see a message in our group chat saying that not only did I lose my matchup, but I also lost the survivor pool. So a survivor pool is where the lowest score out of the 12 teams we have is eliminated, and there's a separate prize for whoever's the last person in the survivor pool. So, the commissioner says, "Oh, Wayne, sorry about that. You've been eliminated from the survivor pool." So not only did I lose my matchup because somebody picked up the backup quarterback, I also lost the survivor pool. So I could have taken the high road, but I decided to, just make a little jab at the person who picked them up. And I said, first off, it's kind of BS in my opinion that a player who has no remaining players going into the Monday night game can add another player, right? Like me, I had an open slot because I have a quarterback in there who's still in play. So it would make sense for me to finagle with my lineup a little bit. But this player, he had no remaining slots left. So I think it's kind of BS that he's able to add a player. But so I kind of said, I expressed that and I said, good job, kind of bullshit, but good job. Shrewd move.
Would you have won or stayed in the Survivors League had you been able to play the backup quarterback? I mean, obviously you would have gotten more points, but would you have won? Would it have changed the outcome?
Yeah, so the backup quarterback scored about 25 points. So I would have won my matchup, and I actually would have had more points than this player. We'll just call him Bob. I'm not going to say his name here on air in case he's watching. But so I gave Bob a little jab, and then he replied, "Sorry, bro." And I wasn't going to say anything else, but when he said, "Sorry, bro," like, from poker, obviously it's not really great etiquette to say sorry, right? I mean, I've played at a table with you when someone said sorry, and what's your typical response to that person?
I'm surprised you don't have it memorized by now because you've heard me say it so many times.
It's been a while.
Yeah, don't ever apologize from taking chips from me. If you're that sorry, give me my chips back. That's what I
was so
give me my chips back, damn it.
Yeah, so I Googled you shouldn't say sorry in poker and literally pasted that in the chat. And then he replies, "Oh, well, good thing we're not playing poker." And I said, well, it applies to all gambling when you're playing with other people. And I just kind of laid into him a little bit. And, that would be a situation normally I would take the high road, but I don't know. I guess you can look at it on one hand, like maybe it's a good move, right? Because he sees that there's a chance my player might not actually start the game. So he probably saw that and says, okay, I'm competing with Wayne in the survivor pool. Let me pick up the backup quarterback. That's one side of it. But on the other side, it's kind of a dick move because, as I mentioned, he doesn't have any remaining players. He has one of the best fantasy quarterbacks in the league that already had a bye week. So it's very clear and obvious that he picked this player up specifically to kind of screw me over. So I kind of laid into him. We went back and forth a little bit, and that's kind of where the chat, left off. So
now, is this a gambling league where you guys have money on it, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, not a ton of money, but everyone throws in $200.
Yeah, it's still the principle of it. Any amount of money is still, money that's going to be in there. So I could see where you'd be upset about that. And what did the league commissioner didn't say, hey, he doesn't have any players, but since it's Monday, he put it in. But on the flip side, I'm just playing devil's advocate with you because, I do that with you from time to time. Wouldn't one say, well, it should have behooved you to check like Monday morning, oh, my quarterback may be out, so I might as well pick up the backup just to be on the safe side. Like, wouldn't it behoove you to have done that? I mean, in some instances, the villain in me says kudos to him for using strategy of the rules, but at the same time, the purpose is the cutoff is like Sunday typically, right? Because you specifically had a Monday Night Football game, like he didn't have anything invested in it, right? But except to eliminate you.
Yeah, he had nothing invested, right? Because he, like as I mentioned, he has one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So there is zero chance he's ever going to play the backup for the Cardinals, who's not really even that good of a player. But obviously, in my situation, I had no other option. So once my quarterback's ruled out, I'm basically just SOL right there.
Here's and I get where you say you invoked me, where you're like, I told this guy, hey, this is a really shitty thing to do. And I appreciate you doing this, but the other part of me that wants to say invoke me in is realize that you got to take that as like one of the biggest compliments. This fucking guy decided to try to eliminate you on a technicality because you're that goddamn good. And when you start looking at it that way, you go, you know what, Bob? Thank you for the compliment because you can't beat me fair and square. You got to beat me on a technicality. That's that's your takeaway on it. That's exactly how you should look at it. I don't know. Am I out of left field here or what?
No. Back to your point. Yeah, I should have been more prepared, but the Eagles were on a bye week, so that's my team. That's the only team I care about. So I was really kind of checked out, and Sunday was kind of a day that I didn't want to deal with technology at all. So I think most of the day Sunday I just kind of had my phone turned off. So because from time to time I like to do that. So yeah, I should have been more prepared and had the backup just in case my quarterback didn't play, which obviously happened, but again, at the same time, it is kind of a dick move, but he found a move within the rules, so good for him. But I thought it was funny because
you got to take it as a compliment too. That's the other way. Take it as a compliment that he saw you as a threat, and this is a good way I can take out my threat. That even though he might not be playing against you this week, he knows he might be playing with you down the road. And I mean, I think it's pretty shitty. I know there's a lot of guys who go nuts over football. I used to be one of those guys. Now I watch maybe 2, maybe 3 games a year. I watch the Super Bowl so I can watch the commercials. I get more excited about the commercials now. And I will usually watch the Lions-Packers game or the Lions-Bears game. Like I like to do that. But and whatever the Lions is on Thanksgiving. So yeah, those are the 3 or 4 games I watch. Maybe that many, and that's about it for me. But I know I used to be that guy that would watch all the top 25 teams in college football, and then Sunday watch all the teams on the NFL package. And I used to be a fanatic. Now I could give 2 shits about it because it's never going to impact my life.
Yeah, I'm not as into it as I once was. I mean, I really just follow my team, but I joined this league. It's my brother-in-law's league, and he kind of asked me a couple years ago, and I hadn't been in fantasy football for probably about 10 years prior to that, but I just said, okay, whatever, like I'll join. It's a couple $100. Like it's not really going to make or break me. But as you said, it's the principle of it. I'm competitive. I would like to win and talk shit, but we'll see. I mean, my team's not looking good right now, but I'm hoping that me and Bob end up playing in the playoffs and maybe karma will come back. So we'll see.
Well, and talking shit is good camaraderie. That is one thing that I will say. I did a fantasy football league one year, and I didn't. It was right when fantasy football was getting real hot, and I didn't really understand all the complexities of it, so I didn't like it because it was too much stress for me. For I think the bet was like $250 for the whole season, and I
Mhm.
just said if I'm gonna have to focus on football that much, I'd want to bet like 2 or 3 thousand to make it worth the time, in my opinion. But that's just me.
Mhm.
Yeah, about talking smack, our guest that we're going to have on the podcast today loves to talk a ton of smack, and I'm going to tell a story before we bring him on because it's a really funny story. He goes by the nickname of Outlaw. His name is Ty Wells. And Wayne, did I ever tell you the Ty Wells story when I first met him face to face? I think I have, but I don't know if I have.
Yeah, you did. I think it was at a meetup game in Chicago, right?
Yeah. So I want to paint this for our viewers right now and anybody who's in the chat or listening. So Ty has never left the state of Mississippi. And I think he's in his late 20s. And of course, I'm an internet personality. And for some reason, he says, "All right, Josh, I'm going to meet you in Chicago." And I'm like, "Yeah, come on up. You can share the hotel with me, whatever. We'll have a great time." And we get to my car. We're about to walk into the first room because we're not at the meetup game yet. We're just checking out the other poker rooms. And we roll a big fat doob and we're smoking it in my car. And he's like, "Dude, these buildings are fucking insane." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "The buildings are so fucking tall. He's like, and the people and the traffic." He goes, "This is the biggest fucking city I've ever been in my life." And I looked at him and I said, like, "Have you ever been outside of Mississippi?" And he's like, "No." Now, I don't know if he was lying to me, but I don't think he was lying to me. And he goes, "And now here I am doing something crazy, meeting some guy on the internet, showing to his poker game. Now I'm going to split a hotel room with him." He goes, "Let's go have a good time." And so I'll fast forward real quick to the next day. We're at the meetup game, and we're in like hour 11 of the meetup game. And you can go ahead and bring Ty on here if you want, Bryson, because I want him to partake in some of the storytelling. So we're at the meetup game. We're like an hour 11, and literally Ty is sitting across the table from me. And do you want me to call you Ty or Outlaw, or what do you want me to call you?
Outlaw.
Outlaw. All right. He's sitting across the table from me, and he's like falling asleep, like because he's had 12 beers, and he's sitting there and he's like falling asleep. We're playing Big O PLO round by round, and all of a sudden, the owner of the charity game, it's like a Saturday night, so he comes in and he's having a good time, and he announces the whole table. He goes, "Hey, who wants to flip?" And all of a sudden, Ty goes, "Flip, I'll flip. What are we flipping for?" And I swear to goodness, next thing you know, they're flipping for $300 or something. And I'll let you tell the rest of the story because I just wanted to paint this picture for everybody. You're falling asleep. We're at like hour 11. He was like, "Oh, this action is getting a little slow late at night." And then you heard the guy say, "Flip." Go on. You can tell the rest of the story.
So I don't know exactly, how many handed we were, but I think it was like 5-handed the first time for
$5-handed on the
$300.
first flip. I remember that.
And so, and I don't remember if I won or lost that, but I just know the next hand.
No, you won that one.
Okay, so
and it was for
$300.
It was a 5-way $300 flip, and he scoops up $1,500, and he goes, "I told you I was the best at flipping." So go ahead.
And so the next one is for it's $1,500 or more. I don't remember. It was probably for $1,500.
Yeah, it's $500 3 ways was the next flip.
And then was that the very final one?
No, that was the second one. So the second one you lose and you get pissed.
So,
and I don't remember how you lost, but yeah, go on.
The third flip was for I think $1,500 a piece, roundabout. And
it was a lot.
I just remember it was over $4,000, whatever it was. And I'm down, and we're doing the part where you peel the cards, and we've seen the river, we've seen everybody else's cards. And basically, if I don't have King 10 in my hand right here, I'm done because the other guy has the second nuts. And it gets down to my last 2 cards. I peel a 10, and then on the last one, I start peeling the king, baby, king. I'm peeling the king 10, baby. And I let the whole room know it. You better know it.
Yeah, and then on top of that, he comes over, and now he was only gone for like 6 minutes. He sits down and he goes, "Whoo, I'm up about $3,000-4,000 now." He goes, "I'm ready to play now," you know.
I remember the next day you ended up calling me from your drive back from Chicago, and you're like, "Yeah, I just spent the weekend with Outlaw." I was like, "Oh yeah, how'd that go?" He's like, "You're like, dude, he's probably the quietest motherfucker I've ever met in my entire life." I was like, "Really?" Online, he's like talking shit and like he's like the life of the club, the online club we play in. And you're like, "Yeah, he's like the quietest motherfucker." And I remember there was a short you put out where you were like, "Hey, we're going to the meetup game in Chicago. Like, what do you think? What do you think, Outlaw?" And you're like, "Yeah, man, let's do it." Like, that was like all you
He
said.
caught me so off guard with that. Like, Josh did not tell me, like, "Hey, dude, I'm about to make a video for my YouTube channel." He just starts doing it, and then he just fans the camera over to me, and I freeze because I was scared. And like Josh was talking about, like, I've never been in areas where there's large amounts of people. Like the high school that I went to, it had 500 people from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. So there's 50 people in each grade. And so and it was just a different experience. And then, I'm even in the poker room that I go to in Tunica, there's never more than 50 players, 60 players in the room at one time. That's like on the times that I've been to Vegas with y'all, where you're in a room with thousands of people. That shit is overwhelming. It's just,
Oh yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize how small Mississippi was. Like in preparation for today, knowing that we were going to talk to you, I was looking up because honestly, I don't know shit about. I mean, you hear about the Mississippi River. I know of a couple cities in Mississippi, but I've never been to Mississippi. Closest I've been is probably New Orleans, or I've been to like Knoxville, Tennessee. But I didn't realize like Mississippi. I think the biggest city is maybe 150,000, 200,000, which is Jackson, right? The capital. But other than that, it's like a bunch of really small cities, I believe.
I mean, to put it into perspective for you, if you were to like drop a pin on where I am right now and do like a 4 or 5 mile radius, there's probably just 1 or 2 thousand people around me right now. I mean, if you were to make that pin even smaller and like say it's a mile, there's just a couple hundred people around me right now.
Hmm. So Josh can
Now, what do
definitely
you?
relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. What do you do down in Mississippi for all of our viewers and listeners?
When you say what do I do, what do you mean, like for work, or do you mean for fun?
Yeah, work and for fun.
So I am a dialysis nurse. I do dialysis, which is cleaning people's blood when their
Yeah,
kidneys don't
kidney.
work.
And then what do you do for fun?
For fun, I gamble. The hell you mean? Yeah, gamble and have fun with my kids. And at any point right now, I can already tell you, I told my kids stay inside. I'm gonna have to say, get back in there. It's just coming. 'Cause they're gonna bust through that door.
Even though we heard you pre tell them ahead of time, hey, don't come through here.
Oh, that doesn't matter what I tell them. They're gonna do whatever.
So, what would you say from your gambling experience? How long have you been gambling, if you don't mind me asking?
I mean, when you say that, like, for real, I mean, like I started gambling. I was probably 10, 11, 12 years old with my grandmother. My actually, she's 92 now, and I still take her to the casinos from time to time, every once in a while. Um, but we would gamble pennies. Like we literally had pennies and nickels and dimes, and quarters, never any dollars on the table. And we would play Texas Hold'em at her house. When did I? And I even played Poker Stars. Or no. I'm sorry, Party Poker. I played Party Poker when I was 13, 14, 15 years old. But the day I turned 21, New Year's Eve, I was in the casino. So from the day I turned 21, I've been in the casinos.
Now,
When did
New
I
Year's Eve,
start
is that your
playing?
birthday?
Yeah, 12/31 is my birthday. When did I
I
start
did
like
not know
gambling
that.
like damn near every day? I would say 2016 or 17. That's when I started gambling every day.
Doesn't matter what you were gambling on.
Yes, poker. That's when I started playing like online poker more seriously. That's what I mean. Like honestly, even back then, like it's always been poker. Like the pits have been a side piece of just what I do, but it's always been poker.
Now, I've seen you in Vegas partying with you before where you're having a bad poker session, and as we walk out, you decide to stop at the blackjack table and see if you can fuck off $2,000 or $3,000. If you're trying to be a responsible poker player, you're not supposed to stop off at the blackjack tables. Why do you do that, Mr.
Um,
Outlaw?
well, I would say because a lot of poker players. Well, I don't know. This isn't. I don't know if this is true or not, but a lot of poker players don't have another source of income. But that's actually not true. Most poker players have to have a source of another source of income because they're losing players in the beginning.
Oh,
But
yeah.
but why do I do it? Because I know that no matter what happens, I've still got a check coming every other Friday. Like there's nothing that can really, nothing's gonna put me down bad to where like, oh shit, I can't rebuild this bankroll. Like the bankroll's gonna get rebuilt. It's okay.
So you
So
gamble responsibly. That's good.
I don't. I wouldn't call it responsible,
I was gonna say I've seen it. I wouldn't call it responsible either.
but
But I
but
mean,
I
at
but I
least you're not
gamble.
like I can't afford to pay my rent or I can't afford to pay my mortgage.
No, I've never done that. Like there's money coming every 2 weeks. It's okay. And I
Yeah,
have
I
a
gotcha.
good job, so it's okay.
so you mentioned your kids. How old are your kids?
5, 7, and 8.
5, 7, 8. Okay, so they're not legal gambling age for quite a while, but with all of the gambling years you've had, is it something that you're going to allow them to do? And if you do, like, what advice are you going to give them about gambling responsibly, or maybe not? Maybe you just let them be a DJ. Who knows?
I'll tell y'all a story, which y'all probably already know a few of these. And I know some people may think that I'm lying when I say this. I give my son, who is in the second grade, he's 8 years old, I've given him my phone multiple times and told him, just play. Just play. We're playing for real money. And I give him the phone. I remember just like maybe 2 months ago playing on the Madhouse, and I give him the phone. We're playing 2 card no limit hold'em, and he starts screaming from the bedroom while I'm doing dishes. And he's like, I beat the tiger. And I run in there. He put all the damn money in. It was only a $400 pot, but still, it's a big deal. And he put all the money out there with Jack high on like 9, 10. He had an open ended straight draw. He has Jack 8, and the board's 9, 10, whatever, and he pops somebody with a straight on the Turner River. I don't remember, but I I I have given my children the phone, so not my children. I have given my oldest son the phone so many times. He knows how to play high low. He understands. He understands when we're playing the stand up game, when we're playing high low, when we're playing normal card, when we're playing 2 card, 4 card, 5 card. He's
Now, do
aware.
you think that's gonna make him an amazing poker player, or do you think that might make him a little bit of a degen?
I don't know either way. I don't know. But I do know one of my goals later on in life is definitely to get me like some type of RV and start traveling and playing poker all around the country. And if I could have one of my kids coming along with me, like, oh damn, that would be cool.
That would be
And I
pretty
mean, they
cool.
already know the game. I mean, he's 8 years old. He knows the game. My kids can shuffle the deck, deal the cards out right, burn the cards right, do all that. We play heads up blackjack against each other. Where one's the dealer and you take turns back and forth,
Oh,
and you're
of
trying to take
course,
all the
yeah.
chips.
When I was 8 years old, I was playing 5 card draw with my dad. That's how I started playing poker. And then when I was 12, by the time I was 12, I had a $150 bankroll playing 52.50. So 50 cent. And then you could bet $2.50 on the river and 7 card stud. So yeah, even when I was a little kid, I eventually had a bankroll, but we were playing for quarters and stuff. I mean, it's a little bit different, but not that much. I mean, once they understand the concept, I think I turned out okay. And I've offered to teach my daughter many times if you ever want to learn how to play poker, but she doesn't want to learn anything about it, or at least last time I talked to her, that was the case.
I've
So,
always wondered why is poker or not it's not just poker, but it's gambling in general. So much more of a male dominated field. And I'd hate to say that, because I don't think this is the reason that males just in general have more money. I don't believe that.
I would say women are they're more careful with their decisions, whereas guys are a little bit more reckless on average, I would say. So gambling tends to be something that you guys were mentioning gambling for dimes and nickels and quarters. I did the same thing when I was like 12, 13. We would go around the neighborhood. We'd have like a Ziploc bag full of change. We'd go from one house to the other. We're playing like 5 cent, 10 cent, 10 cent, 25 cent. And yeah, you're right. It does definitely tend to be a male dominated sport. And I would say, I think it's probably just related to personalities. Women tend to be more careful with their decisions and money, whereas guys tend to be a little bit more reckless, I think.
I think guys are a little bit more competitive, and I also think it depends on the culture as well, because like in Asian cultures, it's just normal for everybody to gamble. So it's a little bit more accepted between men and women, where not, I mean, maybe in the Southern culture, but some cultures, gambling's not as accepted as others. But definitely here in the U.S., yeah, it's way more male dominated, and I think it's because of our competitive nature.
It's funny you say that. I've never thought about that, but I have seen more Asian female gamblers than I have, white or black female gamblers ever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, they're the only ethnicity that has their own gaming section, right? When not like growing up, I lived 45 minutes from Atlantic City. We would go to the Taj Mahal, or we go to the Tropicana, and a lot of them have Asian gaming section, right? You have like the tiles, you have Baccarat, you have a lot of these like Asian games. So it's just kind of ingrained in their culture. So it makes sense.
Yeah, and it makes sense that like poker is more dominated by men because of the male competitiveness, that more testosterone and things of that nature. But I think the longer you do poker for a living, the more you realize that it's not necessarily a competitiveness. It's just about making money, and it's no different than renting out houses. It's about how much money can you make in the whatever X amount of investment. Same thing like when you're playing in a poker tournament, you want to accumulate the most amount of chips with the least amount of investment in there. There's no different. I think poker is very similar to investing in a lot of aspects like that.
Yeah, for sure. And so you mentioned some good experiences with poker, like having your kids grab the phone and play on the madhouse and stuff. So on the opposite end of the spectrum, what would you say is one of your most negative or heartbreaking experiences with poker? Like, how does it influence relationships or different people that are close to you? How does it influence them with your gambling?
Oh, well, the female that I have 3 children with, the female that I have
I like
3
how you
children
put it
with,
that way.
that I am also, the female that I have 3 children with, I have been with since I was 13 years old.
Wow.
And to give you a backstory, I mean, not really a backstory, but just a quick one. When I
you're
was
29 now, or
no, I'm 32, almost 33.
32. Okay.
Yeah, so when I was 18 years old, is this, I don't know if this is like, is this committing a crime here? When I was 18 years old, I took my federal student loan money, and you have to sign this paperwork like saying you're not going to spend the money on certain shit. Dude, I went and bought a dirt bike with that money. And then I turned around, and after I bought a dirt bike with the money, I went and bought a ring for Lindsay. And I remember that I was betting on some football games, and it was only a small amount. I mean, honestly, considering I didn't have a job, it was a big amount of money. But I was betting like, $20 a game, considering the $2,000 a game now. But and I remember she took her ring off and she threw it. We had a wedding venue booked, everything paid for this wedding, everything, minus my tux and the honeymoon paid for. We were going to get married when we were teenagers, and the wedding was canceled because she said that I was going to lose everything because I was well, she didn't put it this way, but I'm just going to say she said I was a degenerate gambler. And she wouldn't even know that word to say, but and then fast forward years later, we get married when I'm 24 years old. No. we get married when I'm 24 years old, and when I am 29, I go through a divorce. And why do I go through this divorce? Because I mean, there's no other way to put it than just say my overconsumption of gambling. I was spending so much time gambling. There was never a financial issue. It wasn't like, oh, we're not going on vacations, we're not eating out, we're not going to nice restaurants, we're not, whatever it may be. It was, I wasn't home. It was nothing for me to go to work all day long, go straight from work to the casino, and then go back to work.
I remember those days. No.
Yeah.
Good times. Good times.
Yeah. So it was consuming your whole life.
Yes, it was. Like, I mean, literally all I looked forward to was let's hit this casino. Let's get to Horseshoe Tunica. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Actually, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Let's get over here to Tunica. And I come home one day, and I come home from work, and when I get to the house, I immediately sense this vibe that everything's off, and I come in, and I can just immediately tell that they're gone. And the next thing I know, I'm in this divorce battle. And in this divorce, I mean, I say battle. I mean, it is a battle. It's a battle. For any of you men that have never been married, never gone through a divorce, never gone through anything like this is a battle.
Oh, I'm aware.
You can get fucked in this divorce. And I mean, gambling was the headline of my divorce. Like, I mean, I have people from the casino that she had never even met that were named as character witnesses in my whatever you would call it,
like
case.
Bob,
I
the
don't know,
blackjack dealer that you used to go to every Thursday,
no, never the blackjack dealer. Never the blackjack dealer. She like, I don't talk to her about gambling. She just knows, hey, Ty's at the casinos. She doesn't know whether I'm playing blackjack,
Sure.
whether I'm playing baccarat, poker, none of that shit. She doesn't want to talk about it.
So you guys got divorced. Did you change some of your behaviors so that way you do gambling in more moderation? Because obviously you can afford it.
Absolutely not.
A winning poker player.
No.
No, you still
absolutely not. No. No.
So
I mean,
at least you're.
Am I more hesitant, considering that she might see this? No, I'm just kidding. She ain't gonna ever see this, but regardless if she did or not.
So wait, you guys are dating again or no?
Well, you know this. I'm assuming. Like,
yeah,
we go through a divorce process. I end up having restraining orders against me to where I can't communicate with her. She pulls every trick in the book. I know Josh has been through a divorce before. They're going to say you did absolutely everything minus rape the children. I don't know if I should say that word. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're
okay.
Good.
They're going to say you did absolutely everything, but we get divorced, and about 6 weeks later, after we get divorced, she just walks back in the house and drops her bags back off. And the next thing I know, she's staying upstairs for a few months, and we don't speak to each other. I'm scared to eat the food that she's cooking because I'm afraid she's poisoning me. And then, over the next few weeks, like, okay, well, I start, I'm starving because I can't cook. I'm eating the food she's cooking, and then, one thing leads to another, and bam, she's back in my bed and I'm fucking her. I mean, that's just how it went.
So it sounds like it was more of a situation where she kind of knows that gambling is a big part of your life, and if she's going to want to be with you, like for the kids, maybe she just basically has to accept it.
Let me get right here. I'm never going to quit gambling. Ever. Ever. I'm a gambler. I will die.
There you go.
I will quit gambling when I die. If people ask, this is a common question that I've heard from people at the poker tables. If you all of a sudden got $1 billion, would you stop gambling? The answer is hell no. I'm going to start gambling for more. And people will be like, "Oh, well, you have all this money and you can enjoy things." I mean, would I cut back my gambling? Absolutely, because I'm going to be spending this money and enjoying life. But there's nothing that can make me quit gambling. I don't want to say nothing, but you know what I mean by that.
So what do you love about gambling? Like what draws you to basically say you're going to be a gambler for life?
Well, for one, I love poker. I mean, like, will I be like a gambler, like playing baccarat and all this other bullshit games that I do play now? I mean, no. I know those games are losing games. I'm just but I enjoy playing poker.
I mean, sports betting, baccarat, and women are the 3 top things that kill bankrolls. in that order: sports betting, baccarat, and women.
Sports betting.
In that order. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, people are like, "Oh, I can beat the bookie."
No, you can't. Sports betting.
I remember when I
for
tried
any of you guys watching this video right now, let me just let you know. Sports betting is one of the hardest types of gambling it is to win in. You're better off playing slot machines, I don't even know what else there is to gamble on, but sports betting is hands down the hardest shit to win on. It is.
Yeah. And it's everywhere nowadays.
When you have to pay 8 points to beat the juice, unless you have some inside information like from Chauncey Billups telling you that the player is going to take a timeout and pretend that they're injured, then you can bet the under on the rebounds. Did you hear that they fleeced somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 to 100 million in that home poker game? Like, the initial report said 7.5 million. Doug Polk did a video yesterday saying it was above 100, or he said it was for sure above 50 million. And he goes, and that's just from the people that I know from sources in it. So he thinks they stole over $100 million in that fucking poker game.
I did not see the video from Doug Polk, but
oh my God,
but I would definitely check it out, and I believe it. I mean,
yeah, Antonio Gates is now one of the people that they're bringing in that I think just got indicted or something. Like, they're bringing in, and it's so rampant though, the sports betting and the shaving of points or the shaving of stats. Now that you can bet on stats, I mean, if you know a guy, his normal rebound's 9, and then he's just like, "Oh, I'm going to fake an injury," at halftime. Like, okay, so he's only going to get like 6 rebounds at most. Like, yeah, it's just sickening. That's why I stopped watching sports. I stopped betting sports. Now, don't get me wrong. I do. If I see a line is off by a lot, then I'll go bet sports. But I'll never forget, I didn't bet at a half. What was it? A half a point is what I could have paid $400.
Oh yeah,
it cost me fucking $6,000 in Vegas once with Wayne and Flounder. It was a Lions Packers game or something. I'm like, 3.5. That's nothing. I'm like,
fuck the Lions.
Fuck the half a point. The half a point cost me $400, but I should have bought it because it ended up costing me $6,000 or something, or $4,000. I can't remember. But
yeah, I'm not that big of a sports bettor, but I never lay 3.5. Like, because I just feel that 3 points is such a common deficit for a team that if it's 3.5 or even 4, like, I'll usually just like buy the point to just like lay 3. And I told that, like, Josh, we were with your brother and in Vegas, and you're like, yeah, I went with the Lions minus 3.5, and I was like, I looked at Flounder, I go, 3.5, that's gonna come back to fuck you. And yeah, sure enough. I mean, I wish I wasn't right, but yeah, I don't lay 3.5.
Thanks for pouring the lemon juice on the wound there. That's really good. No.
Yeah, I would say sports betting is really detrimental. I mean, there's numerous studies that have come out recently saying that in states that sports betting is legal, average credit scores dropped, bankruptcies increased, and auto loan delinquencies rose, right? So it's so rampant everywhere. Like, I don't really watch TV, as I've mentioned a couple of times on the podcast here. I'll watch YouTube and I'll watch ESPN and different things. And ESPN, it's like everywhere now. They're even promoting, ESPN Bet. Like, I was watching some today and they're like, all the division winners are here. And then it's minus, like they're putting it up on the thing, and it's crazy how rampant and how widespread it is nowadays.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, what did we just talk about at the beginning of this? We said that men are the biggest gamblers, and and what do men love to do? They love to watch sports. So
and compete. Yeah. Compete by playing poker and compete and sports betting.
They think they're competing against the bookie, but you are.
They're not. You're never going to beat the bookie.
You ain't going to beat the bookie.
Once upon a time, a long time ago, way past statute of limitations, I used to be a bookie, and I always used to tell people the same thing every time they would bet with me, as I would say, you're not going to beat the bookie. Matter of fact, when they raided my club, the cop said, I was explaining to him the undercover cop, the difference between money line and just a spread, And I said, you want to know what the best thing to do if you're going to bet sports is? And he goes, what's that? And I said, don't bet sports. You're just never going to fucking beat the house,
Mm-hmm.
So I've had one bookie that y'all know. He's told me the same thing. Don't bet. He said, just don't do it. And I'll tell you another thing is that, damn, I forgot. No. But I've had a bookie tell. Oh no, I know what I was going to say. A very prominent poker player. I don't want to say his name or anything. I was talking to him the other day, and he sent me some pictures of all of his players that bet sports with him. It was around 40 people. Not a single winner out of 40 people. You are not. If you bet 1, 2, 3 games total, okay, you might win. There's a possibility. But if you are betting with any type of consistency, I'm just telling you, you're going to lose money. Don't do it. You don't have an edge.
Yeah, I like to just throw like $100 on the Eagles just to kind of be like a little juicer for a game. But yeah, I mean, I've told this to Josh a couple of times too, but a lot of people ask, how do you make money off YouTube? And with YouTube, you don't really make a ton off of the ads itself, but where you make the money is from brand deals with outside companies to sponsor products. And the product that I've been pitched the most frequently is online sports betting sites. And, I've considered it too, right? Because I mean, you bust your ass like for 2-3 years. Like I put out a video every single day, and I'm like, oh wow, I made $9.50. I made $3 on this video, and like there is a part of me that's like, man, they're gonna give me a boatload of money to like promote their online site. But I said to myself, I just can't sell my soul, because I know what you just said, Outlaw, that there's not going to be really many consistent winners. And I said, I can't do that no matter how much money they're going to give me.
There's not going to be any.
I was watching CoffeeZilla, who was discussing gambling, and even with Joe Rogan's podcast, for example, does DraftKings now. He was like, oh my God, I heard Joe Rogan. So yeah, it is one of those things where it's like, they throw so much money at you, it's kind of hard to turn around depending on how much money they throw at you. But it's a huge issue that is going to be dealt with for most people in the United States, that gambling is so prevalent now. I mean, you can bet live action lines by the minute, with different odds, which is just insane. It's like, I don't know. Again, my life evolves around gambling, but I prefer poker because it's much more calculated than sports, even though some people think sports is calculated. But I don't mind throwing down some bucks on the Super Bowl, but that's about it. And
sports is calculated against you. But look, I eat at Sonic all the time, and Sonic, they would send me these deals, and they would say, hey, do you want to get Sirius XM radio? Whatever, they're offering me free money. The next thing I know, these motherfuckers are offering me DraftKings deals and other. I'm thinking, like, how did these people know?
Are you talking about Sonic, the burger place, like the burger and joint place?
See, it's crazy to me how we live in different areas, and I say the word Sonic, and you have to ask that question. But yes, I am Yes, that is what I'm saying. Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Like, to me, like, if you say the word Sonic, there is no other even question about what I'm talking about. Yeah.
So what do you think for these people that are down this dark road of betting on sports and baccarat and some of this other stuff? Like what is the I guess what's the
solution? We should tell them all to go play poker instead. I mean,
Yeah.
even though 19 out of 20 poker players are losing poker players, and I know that's a real hard thing for people to swallow, but I tell that to people all the time. The rake is what wins the most.
Well, hold on. Let's ask ourselves. There's a difference in your equation here. 19 out of 20 players are losing players, but how many of them are break even? That's a big difference, because I do believe that there are a lot of break even players. And when you consider that somebody loses just, let's say, $500, $1,000, $1,500, which is
in a month or something,
Or I was going to say in the year, like, let's just say you lose $1,000-$3,000 in the year. You're a break even player. Like, if you lose the amount of money that you were able to win in one session, you're a break even player. So there are a lot of break even players.
Is this how outlaw math works?
Yeah, that's how I like to feel good about myself.
How the math of a gambler works. If you only lose like $2 or $3 grand in the year, you're basically a break even player because you can win that in a session.
That's very true.
All right. So then in your situation, because some stakes that you play, you could win 20 grand in a session. So you could really be down like 18,000 for the year, and you're really a break-even player. But again, if you're playing higher stakes, that makes a lot more sense. As long as you do it within reason and you can afford it, as long as the bills are always getting paid and the kids are getting fed.
One thing I've learned is that one thing I love to tell the dealers when I'm playing blackjack or baccarat: if I lose this hand, I'm feeding my kids grass and they're drinking water till next Friday. And they'll be like, pull it back. And they'll be like, are you sure you want me to deal it? And I'm like, deal the cards.
Like, those kids can eat rice for the next week. Don't worry about it. Of course, you're always messing with them, but
fuck them kids.
Yeah, my brother does the same thing when he bets. He goes, if I lose this money, I can't afford my kid won't go to college or something like that, But again, as long as you're doing it responsibly.
Wayne, I want to ask you a random question.
Go for it.
And Josh, this kind of relates to you. Josh, I know that the room that you are in right now is real simply because the picture behind your head is crooked. But Wayne, the room that you are in right now,
why do you have to point that out to everybody?
Is it real?
What do you think? Do you think it's real or no?
That picture behind you and that window and that everything, is it real? Because, and I only say that because there's like this green screen hologram type thing of where you move around, that I've seen in the other videos.
No, he's got Monopoly things behind him, like posters, like, inspirational boards and stuff.
I thought
it's
so.
not.
I saw those on the original videos that y'all did.
It's not real, but the purple background looked kind of cool, and we actually saw that the algorithm favored the videos that had the purple background. For some reason, people saw the purple and like clicked on it way more. So Bryson, our producer, was like, Wayne, whatever, like, you got to keep sticking to that purple background. I was like, okay, cool. Like, whatever's gonna help.
You guys ever see that Matt Damon movie called The Adjustment Bureau?
I don't think so.
Okay, it's a really good Matt Damon movie. You guys should probably watch it in the next week or so, because there's going to be a quiz on it next week. But no, it's a Matt Damon movie. And it's called The Adjustment Bureau, and he's a senator who is running for re-election, and he doesn't get elected, and he's giving his concession speech, and he starts talking about, the reason why I wear this color shoes or this color tie is we spent $6,000 finding out what people prefer, what people like. So the algorithm likes the purple, so we have the purple with Wayne. The reason why I don't do the purple is because when you try looking at my tie-dye hat, I'm such a fucking diva. It blurs out my tie-dye hat, and I'm like, no, I must have my tie-dye hat because, again, I'm such a diva. So I'm not going to have a purple screen because of my hat. I don't know. That sounds kind of weird. I don't know. We do have. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say we only need one of us to have the purple screen, and it works out. So you got the cool tie-dye hat, so it works out.
Purple hat, and I got the pink shirt, so I think it balances out perfectly. Now, one question that we do have for all of our viewers, or not for all of our viewers, but all of our guests, we do a tradition here where we ask them a question, and then you get to ask our next guest a question, and then we're going to throw in a little bonus, and then you can ask Wayne or myself any question you want. Wayne and I didn't discuss that. We just decided that on the fly telepathically. So are you ready for your question, Mr. Outlaw?
Hit me.
If you could ask a deceased family member anything, what would you ask them? And that came from our guest, Jeff.
That's a very bad question to ask me because I only have like one deceased family member. What would I ask him? Can you see me? You know, I mean, I don't know. What I mean by that is, can you see me? Is God real? Like, back that up. I wouldn't ask, can you see me? I'd say, is God real? That's all I would ask. Any deceased family member that I have, I'd ask them, is God real? That's it.
Is the video game simulation that we're living in, is that real?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'd ask.
Michael says he would like to ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most, how much of a degen is Outlaw? That's what Michael wants to know.
I'm a motherfucking degen. What the hell you mean, pal? Pal.
That's Mr. Turton, aka you might know him better as Push and Pray.
Oh,
so
wrong Michael. Wrong Michael.
Oh, you were thinking
Michael. Oh,
yeah, you were thinking other Michael. Yeah.
Well, let's bet $6,500 on the Lions. Yeah, he already knows how much of a degen I am.
Oh, did you lose $6,500 on the Lions this week?
No, I did. That's why earlier when you said something about the Lions, I said, fuck the Lions. Who'd they play? I can't remember last week.
Minnesota.
Yeah, fuck the Vikings. And fuck the Lions, too.
Wow.
It's embarrassing, man.
These are the downsides of sports gambling. You start swearing at sports teams that didn't know that they were going to ruin your day if they lost.
I will message the wives of these players.
You cannot
on
be
Instagram, cussing
Are you
them
serious?
out.
Are you dead serious?
I have.
You've done that before.
I have before, and then they block
me. My question for you is, what's the most extreme troll you've done to a sports player or football player or their spouse? I'm just curious. You've trolled them on Instagram. That's pretty.
I mean, the most extreme troll I've ever done is, just like messaging them on Instagram, and I've probably messaged over 20 people, whether it be college or sport or professional sports, messaging them, telling them, you stupid dumb, just going off on them, talking about how bad they play, and blah blah blah. And
do you do that for like therapeutic reasons, or
because I'm pissed? Just because I'm pissed off.
For therapy.
But I have had like 2 or 3 college athletes respond to me and tell me and just snap back off on me and be like, and I love their responses. Like everyone, they've never been chill. They've always snapped back at me and told me like, you're the dumbass that's out there betting money that's so important to you that you're now messaging somebody younger than you that's playing a sport for fun and and all this stuff, and they'll be like going off on me, talking about it must have really hurt your finances, and be like, oh, they got back at me.
Well, maybe they were being genuine and sincere. Like, hey, man, you really should stop. Maybe you gave him the impression that you were betting your house on it.
Maybe.
I'm surprised they answered, like, because I know if I was like a parent of a college athlete that was playing at a big school that a lot of people are betting on, I'd say, listen, dude, have someone manage your social media accounts, because reading your messages is not going to do anyone good. So I'm surprised you actually got 2 or 3 responses.
Yeah, when you message 20, 30 people, I mean, it happens.
Yeah, it's just a numbers game. It's no different than sales. But yeah, I could imagine you'd get a couple of responses, but maybe who knows? Maybe in a different world, you're teaching those young collegiate athletes that the bad things about gambling can lead you to getting in with the mafia and shaving points and shit and then being held up on the FBI. Maybe they'll think
Did,
once or twice about that.
did y'all see the stuff that just happened this weekend with the fighter in the UFC? Do y'all know anything
No,
about that?
no, what
No.
It,
happened?
I hate to say his name because I think it was Isaac something. I mean Dana White said like right after the fight concluded, he immediately called the FBI, and apparently they to give you the short of it. I mean this fighter right before the fight happened, a lot of money went in on him to lose. You know, on the other fighter
Mm.
to win. And
Sure.
what's crazy is the fighter that beat him was 9-0 at the time, or either 9-0 or 10-0. He'd never lost a fight. Well, anyways, the Dana White said that he personally called the fighter and he asked him, you know, are you or is has anybody approached you? Do you owe anybody money? Blah blah blah. Whatever questions they asked him, and he was like, hell no, I'm gonna beat the shit out this dude. Blah blah blah. Well, in the first round, he lost by rear naked choke, and he said that they released him from the UFC. They
Holy
cut him.
shit.
They
Well,
yeah.
good for
Wow.
Dana White for investigating that right away and getting on top of it, especially as somebody who is the UFC. You know, he's the face of it. To be like, hey, we're going to put a stop to this right now. Like, that is not tolerated. What
Yeah.
question would you like to leave for our next guest there, Ty?
I'm gonna ask this question, but if it's already been asked before, or I have a different one.
You have a redo. Okay, that's
Yes.
fair.
Okay.
We will always grant a redo if the question's been asked before.
Yes. If you could do anything for money as like a career for money in this world, what would you do and what is holding you back from doing it now?
So what would your answer to that question be?
Well,
Sports bet?
no, hell no. Hell no. I mean, honestly, what would my answer be? I've always said this from like even when I was like 18 years old. I know that one of the best ways to make it's not a question. One of the best ways to make money on earth is through the stock market. That is how the richest men on this earth are born, or not born, but made.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not
Well,
saying through
through
trading.
the real estate, but yeah.
What do you mean?
63% of the United States equity is in real estate.
Well,
And
I just specifically mean like the richest men on earth. You know, like
we'll do a lot of stock market trading. Yeah.
yeah,
Like
like I
Warren
mean, like
Buffett.
yeah, I'm not talking about like I agree with you that the majority of wealth is made through real estate, but at the same time, like the richest men on earth are not made rich through real estate. They're made rich through, but it's hard to say like it's hard to say the stock market because people like Elon Musk, I mean, they own the business. It's completely different. But you know what I mean by that.
Yeah.
But that would be
Yeah.
my answer is I would love to stock trade, but I mean stock trading is so difficult. I have attempted it plenty of times, multiple times, you
Here's
know.
fun information that you guys don't know. As I used to have a series 24, 7, and 63. And a series 24 is a managing principal license. You have to have 2 series 24 licenses in order to have a trading firm. I hated my job when I was a stockbroker and shit like that. I could not stand being under the fluorescent lights all day, wearing a suit. I couldn't be who I wanted to be. Drove me nuts.
Well, you know, more so what I mean when I say trading or using the stock market to make money, there's this allure of being this digital nomad that has the ability to make money within 30 minutes to 1 hour every morning when the stock market opens. And then boom, you have 1, 2, 3, 5 grand to go spend through the day, and you're wherever you are in the world. You're the digital nomad.
Mm-hmm.
So why aren't you doing that then? Because you're like, screw stocks. I don't
can't.
know.
I mean, I don't want to say I can't. Like, I've attempted. I've failed. It's very difficult. I don't even know. You know, I kind of believe that it's like poker in the sense that 19 out of 20 people are winning. Even if those numbers are correct, like who's to say that even 19 out of 20 stock traders are actually winning, and just that the that the 1 out of 20 people that are winning are not just winning through selling courses and trading material that they sell.
I got
Yeah, it's a good point.
Now,
what would your answer
be?
What would your answer be for that, Josh? To
I
Outlaw's
really
question.
I really like doing what I'm doing now, coaching, spiritual guidance, things that I give good advice. My wife and I had a conversation about this, whether I should say I'm a spiritual guide, and we've concluded that I should just say I give good advice. So I give good advice. But yeah, that's what I would do if I could do anything for money. I don't mind doing poker for money. I like doing it, but you definitely get burnt out, just like anything else. And even when you do giving good advice, you get burnt out on that as well. So I mean, even coaching, there's times when for coaching me in particular, when I'm coaching poker students, where it's like I've covered some of the same subjects that they're having a difficult time like grasping, but then sometimes it just like clicks, and that's the part that I love about the most, is when they're like, you explained it this way, and for whatever reason that clicked with me. It's like I love it when I'm coaching somebody and I see that happen. So
yeah, mine would be poker.
I would do therapy, but go on.
No, I was gonna say mine would be poker, which I mentioned on one of the previous podcasts. I have a letter that I wrote in high school saying that I wanted to become a poker player, and I could say that I love poker. It's, I've met you, I've met Outlaw, I've met a lot of really cool people in poker, but I could definitely agree with you. Like, you get burnt out. It's like a thing that you've done for so many years for fun. It's fun, but then when it becomes your profession, the way you put food on the table, you could definitely get burnt out. So I still love poker, just unfortunately not as much as I once did. But I think that the last part of your question is the greatest part. What's stopping you, right? Because there are so many people that say, oh, if this wasn't the case, I would do this, right? But Gary Vee says regret is one of the most painful things to see on people as they get older. Like, you see people in their 60s and 70s and they have regret about not traveling or not doing this thing that they wanted to do. Like, what's stopping you, right? I mean, life's short. If you want to do a certain thing, there's probably a way you can make money from it. I mean, not everything, but a lot of things. With technology the way it is, if you really want to make money from something nowadays, you probably could find a way to do it.
Yeah. And I like that. What's stopping you? Because I agree. I look at a lot of even personal things in my life, and it's like, what's stopping you? And it's like, nothing. So then I just go do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a good place to thank you, Outlaw, for coming on. I think we learned a lot about you. You had some good stories. I think we learned.
Have any questions for Wayne or myself about anything?
Y'all should have prepped me for that. I have some questions. Not to like put y'all on the. I'm sorry, not to like put y'all on the spot. But the other day, y'all said that y'all haven't played live poker.
I played last week in Green Bay. I went, and I was actually going to tie back to that as far as getting burnt out. Real quick story. I went down there, played for about 4 hours, pot limit Omaha, won. At one point I was up $4,000, but after I gave away 1,000 of it, I was up a little over 3. I was like, even though I've only been here for 4 hours doing this as a profession, I should just get up. Like, I could sit there and try winning 10, but it was my first live session that I had since I was on the live stream at the Venetian, where I lost like $4,000. And that night I lost, I think it was like 12 to 15 or something, because we played post stream. But it was my first live session, and I was like, hey, $3,000's great. And then it's funny because then my dad's like, how'd you do in Green Bay? And I'm like, Dad, I track everything by the week. I'm like, I won $3,000 live and I lost like $2,000 online or 2,300 online. I'm like, so I won $700 for the week. But that's how I do my stuff. But yeah, you were saying about playing poker live. Like literally, I've played poker live twice in almost 2.5, 3 months, which is driving me nuts.
Yeah, I haven't played since August. We went to Florida to discuss starting the podcast, and we played. I really played mainly to get some vlogs on the other channel to try to promote this channel, but I haven't played since then. I mean, granted, I was in Asia for most of October, and then September was a lot of prep for that. And honestly, I've been doing a lot of soul searching because I've lost more money this year than I've ever lost in my life. And there's been a lot of days where I'm just like thinking, what am I doing with my life? And so I've done a lot of mental soul searching, but honestly, I don't find as much pleasure in poker, especially when I'm going by myself, right? Like I used to go to Lake Elsinore all the time and play, but now like I get juiced up to play when I'm going on a trip, right? We're going to Florida again in January, and Josh is going to be there after he sees you in Mississippi, and we got a couple other guys from the Madhouse. So it kind of gives me a little extra motivation, and it makes it more fun for me when I'm going on a trip. It's kind of like us against the world, whereas opposed to, I don't know if I have as much motivation to just be like, oh, I'm going to go play a session and grind out like 8 hours by myself anymore. So
you're like, I don't know if I want to go to Lake Elsinore and grind out 3 times a week anymore. I don't know. There's a lesson to be learned in that. But what was your question, Outlaw?
Oh, I don't remember.
About us not playing live poker.
Oh yeah, like why? Like I just feel like the other day y'all said y'all are supposed to be these YouTube PLO influencers and all this other things, but like y'all just haven't, like, dude, I've played so much more live poker than y'all. It's just insane. Like y'all just aren't
in the
playing.
last 2 to 3 months for sure. Well,
yeah,
we get a little distracted with the podcast and things of that nature. Plus, I had to flip a couple of houses to get them ready where people did like $10,000+ worth of damage in the house, and so I was flipping a lot of that, and that took me away. But I would play online while I was like painting, like
I understand that.
And you guys have seen that where I'm like, I'm painting,
Yeah, I just needed a break after this crazy downswing, but I'm going to start getting back into playing. I actually had Don, who is a player that we play with a bunch in Vegas at the Venetian. He messaged me the other day about going to Lake Elsinore next week. I had someone else message me from Hustler up in LA. So I haven't played in a couple months, but I think I'm in a better state of mind than I was back then, especially after the series, to get back into playing, put some vlogs out. So I don't think I'll ever play as much as I once did, but I'm definitely looking forward to getting back into playing a little bit more frequently than I have.
Yeah, and you know me, my days off, I still play 4 or 6 hours of poker. I mean, that's just how I am. But most of it's online, so
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's definitely a grind, and one of the things I advise all my students is if you ever do get burnt out, just stop playing until you feel that urge to go back and play. Have you ever felt burnt out from playing poker, Outlaw?
Me? No, never, because I love to play poker. I mean, have I felt pissed off, mad, and all of those emotions? Absolutely yes. But as y'all talk about, like, saying you're burnt out.
Well, you spent like a week with us in Vegas, but yeah, if you're there for like 30 days, you might after 20 days you start saying, a trip
Vegas
to
burnt me out, but
great.
it was a different type of burnout. Like, it was just like, I mean, there's such a different vibe about Vegas. When you're in Vegas, you have to it's so different.
Pace yourself.
Well, what I mean by this is it's so different in the sense that you're not in your own environment. You don't have your own car. You're not doing your own thing. You don't go get food when you want to. You don't honestly, the sheer distance from where the vehicle is from where you are actually playing poker is just astronomical. I mean, you're walking a damn mile to get to the poker room. So, like, I mean, there's so many different aspects. And then on top of that, when you're in the poker room, you walk a quarter mile to go to the bathroom. You're in this room with thousands of people that are all clanking their damn chips together. And there's so much to say about Vegas. And like you I remember you said like, oh well, Outlaw, he didn't say anything at all, he was so quiet. Like, I mean, yeah, of course I was quiet. I was out of my element. Well, like, put me in the poker room in Mississippi over there in Tunica, I'm hollering, baby. Hit me on the river. These motherfuckers, everybody in the room's gonna know I just smashed on them. I'm hollering. It's my room. Like, they all know who I am.
Well, we appreciate you sharing some stories with us. We'll definitely have you on again. So, yeah, appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Outlaw.
See y'all later.
Peace.
See you, bro.
Ooh, that was a good one. That I love talking to Outlaw with some of his stories. He's definitely a straight up gambler degen, if you will.
Yeah, it sounds like he does a pretty good job of managing his life with his wife, or I'm not sure what you call her, but baby mama and 3 kids. And it sounds like he manages it pretty well, considering.
Yeah, as long as you do it responsibly, you know. And I've got a couple of different friends who are very well off. And for example, I have one of my friends who says to me, he goes, Josh, my budget for gambling is $80,000 a year. He looks at it just like a line item budget. Of course, he owns his own business, but he says, he goes, the nice thing about it is, and by the way, he's a super nice guy. But yeah, he goes, the nice thing about it is if it's November and I've only lost like 30 grand, he goes, I know I can go to Vegas and blow 50 grand if I want. And he goes, and sometimes when I go out there and I end up winning like 30, 40 grand, it's nice to be like, hey, I actually did well this year. So as long as you're doing it responsibly and being able to pay the bills, there's certainly nothing wrong with it. But there is being able to bet sports in all 50 states. I know it's actually having an impact on Las Vegas travel, where the traveling, one of the things that they're saying is the traveling is down as a result of the fact that you can just hop on your phone and start betting right away. And when I was watching CoffeeZilla on his latest podcast that he put out, there were certain apps that were targeting kids to use their whatever points that they buy. You know, you end up buying like rupees or something, and then the rupees can convert into actual dollars. And they were doing like slot machines, and they were literally targeting kids. And they did that for a little while, and then they got a lot of blowback. But I mean, in the meantime, they're making $2,000 a day from 13 to 18-year-olds who are betting on basically casino games, you know, through a sweepstakes system, which is why a lot of states now are saying, hey, we need to start catching the law up with technology where you can't have a sweeps coin in a lot of states. They're starting to turn around and do that because they're finding kids are starting to gamble at a young age. And there are very rare instances where you have someone like yourself, myself, or Outlaw, who are generally winning poker players that can do something positive with it. But more times than not, people will gamble beyond their means, you know?
Yeah, it'll be something worth looking at these next bunch of years, right? Because there isn't legal sports betting in all states, right? I'm in one, California, that's not legal. I mean, even though
there's a few apps that are advertising legal in all 50 states because they're using the sweeps coin system.
Yeah, kind of similar to how WPT Gold was able to say, oh, you can gamble in all these states, even if it's not a legalized state like Michigan, for example. But it'll definitely be worth keeping an eye on, because as more and more states get legalized, we're going to probably see more of these trends of, like I said earlier, credit scores going down, bankruptcies, delinquencies going up in these states, especially for younger kids, right? They're the most impressionable and the ones that have the most to lose, because I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I mean, you lose a couple $100, that like to someone in their 30s like us, 30 or 40s, not a big deal. But when you're a kid, a couple $100, I mean, you're working on minimum wage, that can really break you. So yeah, the lesson is definitely gamble responsibly. If you're going to gamble, poker is definitely a better option, as you do have some control, right? Obviously, if you still get unlucky, nothing you can do. But sports betting or casino games, it's just a crapshoot.
Right. And if you are going to bet fantasy football and you have your backup quarterback available for a slot, fucking pick them up. That's the lesson here, people.
Yeah. Make sure you check your lineups, people. Don't be like me and just assume, oh, yeah, it's going to be there. So we'll see.
Yeah, don't forget to not only check your lineups, but if you do get beat out by somebody using a technicality, and it might suck a lot, take it with a grain of salt and understand you're getting a compliment because they find you to be such a formidable opponent. That's my lesson today.
Yeah, so I want to know from the audience, do you think let us know in the comments, do you think that's good strategy what Bob did, or is it a dick move? Or maybe it's both, right? I mean, it is a good strategy. It's we'll see what the audience says, but
I think it's both for sure. But yeah, I'd like to see what the audience says on this one too.
Yeah. So if you want to be a guest on the podcast, let us know. There's going to be an email down below. You can contact us. We are live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. And as we mentioned earlier, please like and subscribe. It does help the channel quite a bit. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.